have there been surprises, amphibians, fish, reptiles, plants that you weren't expecting or you were maybe hoping you would find?
We've seen some rarer things still stay with us.
Okay.
When deer numbers were high, you could nibble those almost to oblivion and think, will they ever return? Well, there's that tremendous viability of the seed capacity that's in the soil, and if you give it a reprieve and let things grow, it's a funny thing. You reduce deer, plants grow, you know, and so these rare things came back, the rare orchids, some of the rare ferns, rare shrubs, and of course the state endangered yellowwood tree took it on the brink a lot when high deer numbers. Now they're all back.
Are the yellowwood doing better now?
We've got more yellowwoods that are coming along nicely. So it's just it's a refreshing change from the times when you remember,
right?
And this just devastation of the herbal layer. Now that's pretty well established. Now we look at not that it's all green and healthy. We've got the invaders to tackle. So it's not like everything's hunky-dory. We got to look specifically at plant communities and target these species that are displacing the native things. We need to get rid of those exotics because that site, that food source, that habitat would have been taken over by a native plant that wildlife use so readily. An exotic plant isn't used at all as a food source.
Right.
And so you're not getting the food of beneficial quality to the wildlife if it's an exotic plant.
What will you do with the data collected here during the BioBlitz?
Well, we got about 1,200 species last year with a 3-day endeavor. We're at it 2 days this year. I assume we'll go with a less total number, but let's say out of 2 years of a BioBlitz event attempts, we'll get, say, 2,000 species total. That's plants, animals, reptiles, salamanders, butterflies, beetles, grasses, wildflowers, you name it. It's the whole big long list.
Everything walking, crawling, growing, and
if it's living in Brown County, we're trying to zone in on it.
Okay.
And of that list of, say, let's say hypothetically 2,000 species, we'll look at with GPS coordinates where the specialists recorded where those things occur. And what we're specifically looking for first, Troy, of course, is the rare things and the endangered things. And
to not only know where they are, but to know where they are so you can protect them.
Correct. Let's know where they are first. And then we'll look at where these plant communities occur. Some of them are lush and healthy and doing well. Others are of special concern. I'm thinking of the ferns and some of the understory plants that aren't as common everywhere. But we've got a pretty rich botanic and biologic resource here that, because of its variety and diversity, is healthy.
They're perfectly capable of biting. Of course, they're non-venomous. They kill by constricting, so they bite and wrap around and constrict to kill the prey.
So you're still all right, though.
I'm still all right because, when you unwrap snakes from the tail end, he's not that hard to unwrap, and he's not really probably going to constrict me. But I just did that so he'd think he's more secure and stop squirming. Anyway, these snakes are probably, I would say they're fairly common in Indiana. Like I said, I saw one in the Indianapolis city limits last week. So they're pretty well known. They're excellent climbers. They're really good at climbing trees, and they can just, they don't have to have branches to climb. They can just climb up the side of the bark on a tree. They can grip onto the bark, and I assume that helps them raid bird nests. Is probably one of the things they do when they're doing that.
In Indiana, there are 2 species of green snakes. This is the rough one, and in northern Indiana, there's a smooth snake. If you want to feel this, you can. It feels a little rough on the scales. Each scale has a lateral heel on it, sort of like a keel or a bump right there. But this is a really neat snake. As you can see, it blends in with its environment.
This is a larger hognose than what I used to have in a nature center where I worked. So we kind of think this is a female because it's a little bit larger size?
Yes. And,
or just a healthy specimen?
The tail size, too.
And we talked about all the different things they do as far as hissing and flaring out and playing dead. And I used to love to use these for programs for kids, just because they're so almost docile that they'll let you hold them and do a lot with them. What else did you find the last day and a half or so?
We found a couple copperheads, water snakes. You've seen the green snake and the rat snake, spotted salamanders, long-tailed salamanders. What else did we find?
Pretty good collection, though, for a day.
Yeah.
What, a day and a half, 2 days?
Quite a few, yeah.
Yeah. How many volunteers have you had?
Altogether, probably about 6 altogether,
Yeah.
just
Now,
with the reptiles.
We've got almost 16,000 acres in Brown County. How can 6 of you go out and collect all the reptiles and amphibians out there?
It's not easy. We just go to certain areas where we know that we can find the reptiles, like dump areas, like that's got tin and wood and everything.
Big wood piles they can get under and
Yeah.
they feel comfortable in.
That's something that would attract their food source too.
Yeah. Which is primarily
With
toads, amphibians, small
well,
mammals.
With the hognose snake is toads, rat snakes, mice, rats, birds, and then like the green snakes, they spend a lot of time in the greenery, eat insects mostly.
Sure. Now, you guys will be going back out today and tomorrow, or is this a whole weekend event?
We'll be going back out today and probably do a little bit of cruising on the road, looking for other snakes that are coming out to warm themselves on the road.
Okay.
And I think it goes on till noon tomorrow.
Great. Okay, well, good. Well, there you go. We've got the BioBlitz in Brown County, Indiana. We've got our specialists, our biologists, our volunteers, and, of course, the specimens. We're going to go back out and see what else there is in the woods of Brown County. Dale, thanks a lot.
Thanks.
If somebody felt compelled to help, do you accept volunteers to help out with the BioBlitz?
Yep.
Can they become a member of the Friends of Brown County?
Absolutely. We'll never turn away a volunteer, as you know, and we'll want their expertise or their interest level to come through so we can plug them into what they want. We'll never give a volunteer something they don't want to do, but we do so many different jobs. When they come to us with an interest, we'll find some job for them. And we use several volunteers today, leading hikes and hospitality people and greeters, and in the Nature Center they were telling people about the schedule of events. And then some of them went out with the researchers. If their interest was more along plant lines or butterflies, we paired up the volunteer with the taxa team.
Okay.
And of course the very active Friends group will always accept members.
That's great. Well, I sure appreciate the work you're doing. I love to come to the park, and it seems to be a well worthwhile event this weekend.
Good to have you. Thanks for coming.
Great. Thanks for joining us for today's BioBlitz here at Brown County, and we look forward to seeing you again next week right here on Indiana Outdoor Adventures.